Hello at them jeans. I have 33 cars. My Bugatti has a 16 8.0 L quad turbo. My two Ferrari 8112 have 6.5 liter V12s, and this is just the start. Please provide your email address so I can send you a complete list of my car collection and the respective enormous emissions.
Yeah, that sounds like the Whole Foods parking lot in Glendale, if you ask me. This is nothing new, bitch.
Yeah, I don't know why Andrew Tate thinks he's pulling his hog out talking about some cars you can see at the fucking Ralph's Fresh Fair. I don't know. He must have never been to LA. Where do you think Andrew Tate lives?
Tampa?
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely 100%. I'm looking at his Twitter
Orlando?
I'm looking at his Twitter profile for the first time, and it does say that he lists himself. Oh no, I'm sorry. He lives in Dubai, of the Florida of the Middle East. How could we fuck that up?
How does he have all this money? Do you know? Just YouTube.
He's a lightweight, light to heavyweight kickboxing world champion. But I imagine it's from some of his
influencing.
I think it's for his influencing. But as much as I despise Andrew, I do think that Greta's response was a little overly celebrated. Little childish, no pun intended. But I thought I thought that we can do better than the small dick energy at getalife.com. I mean, that's not actually funny.
Well, can we do better than that? Let's try, Chris.
No, I'm not saying that
when you say we, you mean her.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that she knows that her audience is obviously going to celebrate whatever she does in this case, because Andrew Tate is a herb and does deserve to be dunked on. I just don't think this was a dunk. I think this was more of like a free throw. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That bounced around a little bit before it went in.
You'd like for it to have a little more venom to it, a little more punch.
I think in this case, because of who she's dealing with, I think she could have, went below the belt, not to make a kickboxing pun.
Put a little more snap on that left hook.
Yeah, I think she could have really gone at him, maybe used some curse words or something. I guess maybe small dick energy is funny if you're 17, but that's not really, that's kind of an amuse-bouche for us adults. And I think someone like Andrew can probably, he could probably use some harsher words.
If only Greta employed the works of Jeff Ross, the King of Sting, the Roastmaster General, to really just give
this is a good idea.
10 to 15 just stingers.
Okay, so what we need
clock cleaners.
So you're saying that Greta doesn't have a writer's room, and that's maybe the problem here. So she could have kind of gotten someone like Jeff Ross or one of these kind of Hollywood types to really put this thing of the edge and make Andrew think about what he's done.
Well, I think she does have a writer's room, but it's not in the way that funny stuff it's more of a blue-haired brain trust of PR writers and fact checkers and things like that. Not a lot of joke writers or zingers, stinger maestros.
Okay, so I think Jeff Ross is a great option because he's kind of older too, so I think he would know a little more how to play someone like Andrew, whereas Greta's dealing with high school seniors more often. So this is a little out of her depth.
Not a ton on his plate right now either, probably.
But there is something to be said about a man listing off his car stats on Twitter.
Unprompted, not in a response to anything.
To boast his emissions are high. That is something else, I would say. I mean,
he's very good at going viral. All he does is just tweet an unprompted list of cars that he has to a teenager and whom neither of them have ever met or talked to before, and now we're talking about him.
That's true, and hopefully they never do meet, because I don't think Greta would stand a chance in the squared circle. But I'm sure Rogan's.
Can you imagine?
I'm sure Rogan's trying to set something up right now just to get a little side action. In Dubai, that stuff might even be legal. You know what I mean? Like, who knows?
This stuff.
Yeah, like you might be able to fight people outside of your weight class in Dubai for money. That seems like something they would.
Easily.
They would maybe
easily
turn a blind eye to something like that.
No, I peel enough 20s off, and Greta's fighting a lion in a cage if I want.
Yeah, if I keep the Bugatti idling, this isn't going to take long.
Yeah, we all of us as a society needs to be ignoring them. It's the left and the right, the conservative and the whatever the opposite of that is nowadays. Truly the most annoying representatives of both parties.
I know.
Scrapping together, it's one of those things where you just don't even give it a breath or a look.
The beauty of this unfortunate burn cycle is that both
burn cycle.
Right, both people. Both people are insufferable in their own ways, so to see them both do something stupid is always good. That's always welcome.
Not in my house. Get that shit out of my house. This How Long Gone. Better take your sensitive ass back to r/Japanese breakfast.
I also saw another trend that you've probably been seeing. My friend Holly Connolly, who's a writer in the UK, she posted
Holly Connolly, you say?
Holly Connolly. So have you seen these lists where people are just writing in and out, like lists of what's in and what's out, and it's just a nonsensical list of like stuff?
Right. A popular year-end thing in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
I mean, for many years, but especially in the last.
She said shiver, shiver, shivering at these. And this one this is, you know what? I'm just going to read this verbatim because I think
since you brought this up, this is actually something I was thinking that maybe we should dip our toe into for our final episode of the year. Who knows? Well, I don't know where you stand on that. We'll see.
Well, I'll tell you, as soon as you hear this list, you'll never want to do anything like this or be a part of anything like this again.
Okay. And this is something that your friend wrote, just to be clear.
No. This is something that my friend saw and is saying this is she's like, why are these so often compiled by the most passé random people operating? Which you will agree on. So the in list here is low engagement, chips and dip, getting to the bottom of it, not talking about Ozempic, just doing it, encouraging artists, popping out from behind things and yelling boo, revisiting bodies of work, saying you were the student body president, holding in that cum, which has to be number one, finding things on your own, task responsibility, commenting on celeb selfies, love this pic of you, miso soup, being a real one, noticing real ones, early bedtime, deciding things, Claire Danes, stretch limousines, saying hi to mommy and daddy, trying to remember things that happened, BoJack Horseman, and Cortados. That's the in list.
Oh no!
Okay, that's the in list, just to get your appetite.
That was really tough to sit through.
Okay, and then the out. Okay. Out is yearning to be entertained at every moment. Paperwork, dark chocolate. It's not bad. It's just out. Back to milk. Discourse, not picking up the phone. Ketamine, travel, hiding likes. TikTok, looking at your phone while watching a movie. Nashville style hot chicken. That seems like a weird stray. Being relevant all the time. Once every 2 years is okay. Not getting in the water. The idea of crisis. Holding grudges. Cans of coffee. Aesthetics without deep intention. Saying the last 2 years have been crazy. And Forbes, which is funny. Forbes being out is the only funny thing on this list. But can you imagine saying that in is BoJack Horseman, or even worse, commenting on celeb selfies, love this pic of you? What is that like? I don't understand this. I don't know what holding in that cum means in this instance. That's just too twisted to even try to unpack. And I don't know who wrote this list. And thank you to friend of the show.
Do you think this was written by a male or a female identifying person?
It's going to be either a female or a gay man. I'm going to guess.
Okay.
I think. I mean, only because I don't know. Actually, it's tough to say. I don't even want to put that
the cum holding part. I don't know. That seems like something that more of a male should strive for than a female.
I would agree, but maybe it's a recommendation for all the fellas out there. You know.
Yeah, and the no Nashville hot chicken. That seems like she's trying to take down POC small business owners.
Dude, it's very weird when you think about it. But yeah, these lists are running rampant on our social media channels, and I like the kind of like random vibe of a list. I like when things don't necessarily go together, but for some reason this is
too much.
Yeah, these have gotten so twisted and just unbearable that I don't know. And thank you to Holly for pointing this out, and also not attributing the author, because that could have ended badly for them, I'm going to assume.
Well, we can just Google all that copy you just wrote and find out who this person is. Get them on the podcast.
No, I'm good.
Not the podcast. They belong in Rikers, if you ask me.
Bury them under the jail. I just don't know what, kind of like, who is this for? Is this for your homies? Are you expecting this to go viral? Like, is this a troll? You know what I mean? Is this supposed to be bad? I don't think so.
I don't like it when people combine the worlds of like self-care as well as like adorkable jokes, like normalize popping out from around the corner and saying boo in the same sentence as like calling your mommy and daddy. Like who?
Well, don't forget miso soup. That's in. I know you love a warm bowl of miso.
God damn it. Miso soup has neither been in or out in the history of miso soup. It's just there.
No, I agree. I mean,
miso soup is just
a lot of this stuff is just there.
Public domain.
I mean, deciding things being in is no. There's so many highlights from this, but I guess my point is, what is the who are these posted for? Do you think that a majority of them are kind of just a troll, or do you think that people are being
no?
Okay, so,
no. I don't think it's a troll at all.
Okay, so you think this is people being deathly serious about their list?
Well, I think there's a version of, I mean, my style, or what I consider to be an in and out list, is like trend predicting and forecasting, and taking some big swings and risks and guesses on this is going to be in and this is going to be out. Whatever it may be, Barry's Boot Camp is going to be out. Hot Hit is going to be, whatever it is, those things. This is the return of oat milk, whatever. Not what this list is more of just kind of like
stuff.
Nobody, when people are like, everyone's been asking me about my skincare routine, so I thought I'd drop it. Like,
yeah, that's my favorite. Everybody's been asking me. I'm like, I'm gonna need to see how many people have been asking you, because I'm guessing that no one has asked you. If you say everyone's been asking me, my thought is that maybe no one ever asked you.
Unless your follower count has an M next to it, we don't really believe you. But yeah. All that is to say, it's a fine way to create content out of nowhere, and this is the same kind of situation for me. And it's less of it's sort of saying like, hey, everyone's been asking me what my like prediction, or not my predictions, my like what my goals are for next year. It was more of just like a list of goals.
Yeah, it is.
That nobody asked for whatsoever.
Still no one.
Not even her fucking boyfriend or husband asked her.
No one's asked. But yeah, I mean, I think this is. I think that this is really a style that luckily it only feels like it comes up at the end of the year. It's not a quarterly. It's not a quarterly thing. So we have to look at it. We have to look at that as a positive.
Yeah, some people file their resolutions quarterly. Some do it just every April.
My accountant just told me to file my resolutions quarterly. It's just better for a small business. So
it takes some getting used to at first. Trust me. I'm like, again, but in the end, it is better.
It is better, but I also wanted to share with you a little update on kind of what went down in Overcast Palm Springs.
Well, yeah. Well, first of all, we got Christmas recap. Everyone wants to know. Wait, did we even talk about that?
No, we didn't talk about that. I guess
a lot of people are asking me how the Mexican menu went.
So you're saying a lot. You're saying a lot of people have been asking.
I mean, one crusty bitch DM me.
Okay, well, I can give an unvarnished review of the Christmas menu if that's something.
I can't believe this podcast is still free.
If that's what you're interested in. I mean, I will say that I think that the guests falling off due to fake illnesses did lead to a surplus of food, which made it feel abundant and almost heartwarming in that way.
Okay, so it was good.
I don't care. I mean,
less people to talk to, more beans for you.
Well, I mean, I was doing a lot of heavy lifting, of course, in the conversation department, but that's why I'm invited. That's why I'm paid.
What else is new?
I'm paid in guacamole for my duty. But no, I had a blast, and I think it was great to interact with adults. I think that most Christmases, I even though I'm not with my family, I need to be with some sort of family because that makes you feel like it's Christmas.
Yeah.
If you're at home watching TV, eating Sweetgreen, it doesn't really feel super, festive. So to
great for the waistline though,
to head over to Glendale and really indulge in some Mexican delicacies. And I did want to, I don't want to bring up I want to get the bad stuff out of the way first. If
oh, go ahead.
And I do, I kind of think that the drama that we kind of had to deal with, it stressed me. I wanted to talk about it in private, but since this is kind of what we do, when you kind of chose to heat up the tortillas in the oven instead of heat them up in the microwave, I obviously, my palate, I wouldn't notice something like this. Those tortillas were pretty dry. I thought that was just kind of how they were supposed to be. I'm not an expert, but the look that Carolyn shot you.
Do you know how much I regret asking you to talk about this now? I feel nauseous.
The look that Carolyn shot you over this minor error, a minor, tiny error, and you guys have been in the kitchen all day. This is we could have passed right over this, but the conversation, although short, made me feel deeply uncomfortable, and I kind of wanted to confront you about that because I kind of feel like that should have been left to kind of like a behind closed doors thing. You guys, obviously, the emotions running high over these tortillas, and it much like a pot of beans left to their own devices, it bubbled over, and I think that I just wanted to see, like, how are you feeling? Have you recovered from this? Was there further discussion about it once the party broke up, or have you kind of left this, or am I just opening a wound that had been closed? And if so, I apologize.
Well, this will be the today's Thursday, so fourth day I've been sleeping on the couch.
So Jason's been he's a little big for it, but him and Bean have been squeezing together in the crate at night thanks to this tortilla oversight. So you've recovered, but maybe some other people haven't from the tortilla mishap.
Well, it was funny because after it all ended, because it's sort of a response to when everyone sort of hates Christmas. Or, not everyone, but a lot of people hate Christmas, the family time, even though it's nice to see everyone, it's very taxing physically and emotionally and spiritually and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
Whether or not you like your family, it can be tough. So our thought this year was we're going to host it. We're going to do whatever we want our way at our house. We make the rules, and then maybe that'll be more enjoyable for us. And then as soon as all of our parents left and we were done with it, she was just like, we aren't even going to put a tree up next year. We are going to be in Jamaica next Christmas.
Hey man, look, you don't have to sell me on that idea. Although I did feel I did think you guys did a wonderful job of executing. I felt loved. My stomach was full. The food was delicious. I was able to finally take home some of Them Jeans' famous thumbprint cookies.
Did you take them home, pour bleach on them, and put them in the toilet, or did you snack on a couple?
No, I snacked on those. I love those cookies so much. It's one of your greatest gifts. Besides obviously your work with metaphors and your work on the 1200s, I would say third in line are these thumbprint cookies that seem simple in construction and idea, but when you kind of add your Them Jeans flair to them, I feel like they are special.
They begin to twinkle and glisten, don't they?
They begin to twinkle and glisten. And I just, it was a great night. And I'm sorry to bring up the tortilla thing.
No, it's all good. It wouldn't be. I mean, it's never going to be perfect. But now I'm entering.
Well, if you want to make it even, I could bring up the Tres Leches cake, or you could just keep moving. It's your choice.
Do not do that. No, I know that since and also every Christmas I learn every mom in my life listens to this podcast, like my girlfriend's mom, my mom, your mom, my brother's girlfriend's mom, like every mom listens to How Long Gone, and it makes me wonder, should I be biting my tongue a little bit more?
Should I be holding in that cum? Is that
See that now you made me uncomfortable. I don't want.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Now every time I say the word "come," I think of 4 lovely mothers listening to this right now, being like, "Oh, Jason."
I do too, Jason. But that's the thing: is that when you don't gatekeep your content, this is what happens. Everyone's free to listen, and that's the beauty of How Long Gone. And that's why we keep giving back to moms and peers alike.
And moms are no different than any other human. When you say, "Hey, here's this podcast out here, hundreds of thousands of listeners, amazing guests, but one rule, don't listen to it. It's a big red button."
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
It's only a matter of time before Big Mama smashes that subscription button.
Before Big Mama gets out her brand new Samsung Galaxy foldable phone that she got for Christmas, and she kind of figures out how to use
a couple swipes of the stylus, and next thing you know, she's saying, "Jason Paul Stewart."
No, but I want to keep in our food discussion, not to go stew mode on you, but I was.
Oh no, please.
We were able to visit the Tommy Bahama Blue Marlin establishment in Palm Springs.
Yeah, so you were smart enough to spend spend Christmas in sunny Palm Springs. which is a dope idea.
It was the day after Christmas and it wasn't sunny, but yeah, it was a dope idea. The as teased, the Tommy Bahama Blue Marlin, and a few people have hit me saying the Palm Desert location really is like a Tommy Bahama Ralph's vibe, but we weren't going to drive that far. We could just stroll down to the Blue Marlin in Palm Springs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little more of kind of like a beach bar vibe. But the experience,
so fun.
So the unfortunate part is the ordering system is you go up to a counter and you order your meal, and then they take your card like it's a bar tab, and then you sit down and they bring you your food, and then if you want anything else, they just bring it to you and add it to the tab. It seems like a very unnecessary part of the process.
That is strange. So kind of like a dim sum restaurant, except there's no carts coming around.
Exactly. Yeah.
Baja Blaster tacos. I'm assuming.
It's if dim sum had a Let's Go Brandon theme, that's kind of the vibe of this. So Alex was able to have
They put the dim in dim sum.
the world famous coconut shrimp, and said it was unreal. A delicacy, beautifully
Unreal?
She said it was amazing. I'm just telling you what she said. I didn't have a bite of it. I had some sort of like salad. It was pretty good. The buffalo cauliflower was like fried, which is kind of a nice change from the LA style buffalo cauliflower.
When you say fried, you mean like really giving it to you, not some type of like Erewhon pussy fry.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a regular, which was kind of nice. And what I did like about this, and obviously I don't love when more work is given to the customer, but you dip it into the buffalo sauce. You know, it's not slathered in it, so it's
kind of like how the Koreans do their sweet and sour pork. The sauce is on the side, so then your food can remain crunchy.
You're able to exactly. So the crunch was there. It was good. The chips and salsa were great. Chips and guacamole great. I would say overall it was
a glowing review.
It's let's bring it back. I would say it's it's more of like a I would say it's somewhere between Chili's and the Polo Bar. You know what I mean? I would say it's actually.
That's like a perfect description of Tommy Bahama as a brand, as a whole.
But it's more, I guess, overall. They also had some live music, which was a guy who was playing an acoustic guitar, but also had like a beats playing behind him. Mm-hmm. So we got to hear some classics from Fleetwood Mac, Stained. It was kind of all the selections were all across.
Really?
Yeah, I mean that's a classic acoustic song.
There were a couple puddle songs down.
Yeah, but it was nice to kind of hear these reinterpretations of some classics done on an acoustic guitar in a nice corporate setting. Mm-hmm. So the only thing I will say is the prices were maybe not reflective of the middling.
Tommy's taxing your ass?
Tommy was taxing us. I think it could have been the Palm Springs tax, because no one has more money than older gay guys, so they were kind of coming for us.
And it costs more money to send those quality fresh shrimps over there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We're landlocked over here in the desert. So, but yeah, I would say that the next step in this kind of in the Tommy Bahama journey for me is going to be the Palm Desert kind of fully fledged location, the big dog, and that's something I think you and I might have to tackle together. And if we have to drive down for the day and drive back, that's just something we're gonna have to do. I don't know how hard of a table it is to get.
Chris said we're coming home.
We're coming home, but it was an interesting,
like a football team.
It was it was an interesting experience, and something that I felt like I was doing TJ cosplay.
TJ cosplay in what way?
Like going to a restaurant like that's like kind of funny, but I know it's going to be fine, but I also hate it on principle. It was a strange sensation for me, but I felt like it was a little bit of a growth.
It's a growth, but in the wrong direction is kind of what I feel.
Yeah, definitely. But I've course corrected, obviously. I mean, I won't do that again for another at least calendar year.
Were you able to get some solid R&R over there in the desert, laying out by the pool? Getting a little vitamin D?
No, there's no sun. That was the problem. We quickly realized that Palm Springs, a place that I love and always have loved, if it's not 110, it's kind of not worth going.
If it ain't 110 and if he ain't at least 6 inches, it ain't really worth it, honey.
Yeah, it ain't really worth it, honey. And it's also what was really interesting is that I'd never seen it that busy. I mean, you've been to Palm Springs many more times than I have, and obviously during like Coachella, et cetera, it's crazy. But it's usually so mellow. That's kind of part of the appeal, is that it's a little bit sleepy. But during this time,
during the winter time, this is quote unquote season.
It was fucking packed. Like the streets felt busy. It felt like you were in Times Square.
Were there a lot of straights there?
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that not only were there a lot of straights there were a lot of like European families where I'm just like, imagine being like a 12-year-old.
The straightest people of all.
Imagine being a 12-year-old from Denmark and your parents are like, we're going to LA, and you go to Palm Springs for 3 days and you're like, there's nothing to do here. The food is bad. Like what is if it's not sunny? I mean, it's I ran outside, which is nice, and it's like it's still pretty to look at, of course.
If you're a teen from Denmark, you're just happy to see that Marilyn Monroe sculpture of her being like, ooh, that's enough. Just to get the flick of that, like we're straight.
We're straight. My friends are all going to be jealous. But yeah, it was a strange in that way, that it was just like I felt like a very different vibe from my normal experience there. But it's still a W in my book. But I will say the best part for me was making it back in an hour and 45.
That's big for you.
Well, I never used the cursed Waze app because I don't like the way it looks. And it's kind of confused. I just don't like it. I think it's partly just because I'm not used to it. So but it was, Google Maps was saying like 2:45, and I was like, this is crazy. It's 7 a.m. on a Tuesday. Like, this is crazy. Wednesday.
This is crazy.
And then I tried Waze, and it shaved a full hour off. So I was like, okay, fuck it. We're taking Waze, and it worked perfectly.
Are you going to be Team Waze now, moving forward?
Let me ask you a question. As a guy who has been a Waze user for years, and you're a pretty big opponent of traffic in general.
Oh, traffic? I'm definitely not into it.
Yeah, you're not into it.
One thing about me.
The thing is, though, the Waze app doesn't interface with kind of the Apple suite. It doesn't show up on the screen in the car, is what I'm saying.
It does for me.
Oh, it does. So there's an app. Okay, so if you download the app, then it shows up on the screen in the car. The same way Google Maps. Okay. I didn't have time to.
For sure.
Okay, I didn't have time to download the app.
Wait, how did you use Waze without downloading the app?
No, I mean, I guess no. I'm saying I have the app. I mean,
you got to do like AirPlay shit.
Yeah, I wasn't doing. I just didn't. I didn't think to figure it out because I never do that. My Apple CarPlay is up.
That's right, Chris. You never think to figure it out.
I never think. You sound like some other people in my life. So but we made it back thanks to our friends at Waze, and back.
Oh, great.
Back in LA, it's nice and shitty outside. But I got to build with friend of the show, Jonah from Blackbird Supply Pen this morning for a rare morning cortado.
A morning cortado?
I know. Well, it was. You know what? I wanted to make it easy for him.
Damn! Thanks for the invite.
Well, sorry, bro. You're not coming to West Hollywood at 9:30 in the morning.
That's cat.
You're too cold. you're just, you have your little vest on. You're probably. Did you walk the dog this morning, even though it was a little chilly out?
Bro, I walked the dog, picked up my juice cleanse, but you could barely call it walking because I did a hike yesterday for the first time in way too long.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, is it 2014 or is something, what's going on? Was this with the cobra snake, or like, was it a thing for the dogs, or like?
I just did a regular Emily Oberg style hike.
Nice.
Just getting my 10,000 in with a little incline.
I want to talk about the step count returning to the hot chick universe.
Okay.
What is going on with that? Because do you remember when the Apple Health app appeared and the Apple Watch came out and people started buying that? Step counting was a little bit of an online boast. You would kind of put your screenshots up, show people. It was a thing.
Closing my rings.
Yeah, exactly. And then I feel like it went dormant, and now I'm seeing a slew of hot chicks posting their step counts, and I feels like you're trying to join that mafia.
I don't know. I have noticed that a little bit, but I'm old people who have Apple Watches. They've been counting the steps this whole time.
Sure. They've been holding it down
ever since the Apple Watch came out. But yeah, I don't know what it is or why. I mean, I don't know other. I guess I don't follow the right hot chicks online, but I haven't really seen too much of it.
I'm seeing it every day. I'm seeing it every day from a few different from a few different
You'll have to share some profiles with me.
local networks, but I just think it's obviously like that is a positive thing because moving the body is important to heart health and physical fitness, etc. But it sounds like for you, a guy who doesn't do a lot of cardio stuff, that maybe this return to the mountain was challenging on your physical and mental.
Well, it was easy doing it because I've done that hike 5,000 times. Like,
it's a classic. We used to do it. We used to do it all the time. It was fun.
But for some reason, like I did the hike, it was all good, and then just an hour later, and this morning when I woke up, just. Oof, that soreness from having not done it in so long just fucks you up. So I'm hobbling around, popping Addies.
Oh, that's my favorite feeling. There's nothing better than.
I know it's your favorite feeling, but it makes me feel like shit because there was a time when I had no money and I would just work out all the time. I would ride my bike to the gym, Metro Fitness in Atwater, do a full, pretty decent workout, then get on my bike, go ride straight up.
Oh, I remember
the
this.
hill
Yeah, I remember this.
To the Griffith Observatory on a single speed bike, no gears, like out of the saddle, like pumping, park, lock up the bike, and then go do a whole hike where on the way up I walk up backwards, and on the way down I run down. And then I would do that like 3 days a week.
Yeah, I mean I remember this phase of your life, and
I was so tan. Life was great.
Yeah, you wore a lot of sleeveless shirts.
Now I wore a lot of sleeveless shirts, and now I do it once, and it was fine. It was totally fine. Like I was able to crank it the whole way, and I wasn't like stopping, or I didn't need any breaks.
But let me ask you a question though, because I feel like Jason of yore would have rewarded himself with a healthy, calorie packed smoothie. To kind of recuperate the body and cool down a little bit.
Maybe, yeah, just a pinky full of peanut butter as a naughty treat. Nobody needs
exactly.
to know.
But now I feel like Big Bucks TJ, maybe he took his new Mercedes over to a restaurant and kind of gorged himself on something unhealthy as a reward, kind of undoing all the work he had just done. Is that accurate?
That's accurate. Yeah, that's very accurate. Yeah, before if I didn't go home and make a smoothie, I would do like, I'm just going to do like a chicken breast quinoa and kale bowl or something like that,
There we go.
And today yesterday we went to Burgers Never Say Die and ate cheeseburger and french fry in the parking lot.
Okay. And at that restaurant, another one of LA's popular, it's a smash burger spot, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a smash burger spot.
Okay. Now at this place, do you have to eat in your car or do they have tables available?
They have tables available, but the crowd, the clientele is so dorky and shitty that you have to go eat in your car if you're any person of note.
Okay, so instead of participating in the 100 sample sale, you go eat in the car to kind of avoid the riffraff at the burger place.
Yeah, it's like when you have a restaurant that's so popular and infamous, but also so accessible to everyone, as in like the burger costs $9 or whatever, you're gonna get like every single day it's a new customer. It's just people. Like, I drove here from San Bernardino, I heard you're the best burger, and I'm normally like a forklift operator at the Skechers warehouse, but here I am. I don't want to sit next to those people.
As a known burger aficionado and just kind of a food freak, PHREAK. What is is this actually your favorite, or is this just something that was close to the hike and is satisfying?
I tell everybody it's the worst name for a restaurant, the worst aesthetic and branding. Everything about it is the worst, but they make the best burger in Los Angeles. It just is what it is. And it has no mayonnaise on it.
Well, that's nice.
For me to eat a sandwich or a hamburger sans mayonnaise or any mayonnaise-based sauces is strange. Because I love the white stuff.
So you don't bring your own Chipotle mayo to this? You kind of leave that at home and just do a ketchup?
I don't do Chipotle mayo on a burger. I'm a fucking American. I'll do Chipotle mayo on my little Contramar, my little Contramar tostaditas.
So what's the fry style? Is it a regular?
It's just a regular McDonald's style French fry, and the burger is just a McDonald's style burger, just like pickles, ketchup, mustard, onion. couple of smashers.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just the best.
Unfortunately, the name is giving Stranger Things, which is kind of tough for me to get past. But is the branding even more once you get inside the belly of the beast?
The branding's worse. It's all the worst. Like the outside, it's giving like kind of like video game, like board game store kind of vibe, and then their logo is a cross between like Supreme and Nike, where they take the first letter of Burgers Never Say Die, BNSD, and then they write it in the Nike font, and there's probably like a burger related swoosh kind of thing going on, and then inside there'll be like Supreme style, box logo, white and red.
Okay, so they have the BOGO.
Throughout.
Okay,
Yeah.
they go BOGO once you get in. Yeah, I've heard about all these places. But as a non-burger eater, I don't really frequent anywhere but Burger Lords. But the other one that I see a lot is that they have a logo of a dog.
Yeah, that's the only other one that could be worse is Monty's.
And that dog, and I see people like they have like a sticker on their car. Imagine liking a burger restaurant so much that you have no financial stake in, that you buy a $5 decal with your burger, fries, and shake, and then put that on your Honda Fit as like a badge of honor. Like what? I don't understand. Like, did this burger change your life? I guess I can't really talk. I had a Snapcase sticker on my Honda, at one point, but it seems like, but this is what we talked about before is like this is another way that people
attaching your identity to pizza or taco.
Yeah. Pizza, taco, burger is kind of the trifecta of that though. And I wonder when it's I think we need to branch out and kind of get into more, like what about a Thai, pad Thai sticker, or maybe like I just think there's genres of food that are.
I agree. Get a little more specific.
Yeah, I think we should.
I've seen the next tier, like the top three, like you said, pizza, burger, taco. The next tier,
yeah,
we're gonna go ramen.
Okay,
ramen's a big second placer.
Yeah, that's big. You're right.
I feel like there's one more, maybe ramen and pho.
Yeah, but I would also say that. Yeah, I mean, I want to get
dumplings.
I want to get more esoteric. I want papaya salad. You know what I mean? I want to get a little more esoteric.
I like that Chris is playing in Thailand right now.
I love the cuisine,
or even just ingredients, just like. I break for broccolini, something like that. Just like a very dude, broccoli is good. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like another food that had this wave a little bit was the meatball. I feel like people really were like talking about and like
the meatball shop era.
Yeah, the meatball shop era. I feel like meatballs are really having a moment where you would just kind of, because there's also, of course, the clever play on words with the male anatomy. So you're able to.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. I have like an agency brain. What can I say? So when you take the meatball, you play it with men's testicles, and all of a sudden it's hilarious. It's clever. It appeals to the man cave owner in your life, and it's kind of like a dumb caveman food.
Meatball is a dumb caveman food, but it requires a lot of subtlety and grace.
Oh, I'm not saying it doesn't taste good, but I think what it represents in society is a little bit like
meatball. Yeah, that would be a nickname for somebody who's like a fat idiot, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it would be nothing.
Maybe of Italian descent. That's not my words.
I don't want you to go Jersey Shore mode today. Not today.
Let's get out of here. This Jack in the Box is full of meatballs. But that reminds me when we were you see these people, they'll do like documentaries about like this person paid, like without this person. I just watched the Sinead O'Connor documentary, and it's like without her, punk rock spirit and activism, like this whole swath of other rebel music would never exist, and blah blah blah. And then you look at restaurants like the Meatball Shop, where it's like at the time we were like, dude, what? Are you fucking serious? This restaurant only sells meatballs? I gotta check this out. Like, it was such a crazy novelty at the time, but it really did pave the way for just bad, the worst shit. Like, it got way too specific, where there's like the rice pudding place, and like we only do corn dogs that are covered in hot Cheetos.
I mean, I guess though that era, I mean, the fact that the Meatball Shop was like a 3-hour wait at one point, and they had like 8 locations, and I believe they're all closed now. And the guy who founded that, is really hot. Like, he's very good looking, and I believe he has I think he has an oatmeal startup now. So,
okay.
I mean, I'm sure he cashed out at some point, but I just, I just think that no trend can last forever. That being said, pizza, burger, taco, that trifecta is unwavering. You know, those are three foods that feel like they can withstand any food trend.
Bro, anything can happen. Too big to fail. We'll see.
Now, I mean, look, I don't want to Madoff the pizza industry, but I'm just saying. I mean, I think
that's what they said about my Tesla stock.
Pizza. Yeah, I know you're having a tough time.
Now look at it. I'm having a tough time.
I know you're having a tough time. That's why you had to go German for your new whip. You couldn't give Elon another dollar after what he did to you.
After what he did to my fucking family.
Are you getting ready for New Year's Eve as a DJ? I know this is kind of historically a huge night for you.
I'm gonna be gig hopping this weekend. Yeah.
I'm sorry that Tao Group kind of looked over you again this year. But hopefully
I'm someone's understudy.
But you can maybe do an after hours gig or something a little more local that pays in cash. Like, it's not as glamorous, but it's still a night to make money.
It's on the table if I want to grab it. Yeah.
Okay, so Overpass has called, and them jeans will be DJing from 4 to 6 a.m.
I'm a second hold at Overpass tonight. Yeah.
Second hold at Overpass. But now this New Year's Eve is yet another chance for Chef Them Jeans to kind of flex his muscles in a small group setting. So what dishes are you responsible for, and is it a new protein packed oatmeal?
I'll be flexing my chef skills by cooking something that I've never cooked before that is very expensive. A standing rib roast, kind of like a prime rib that you get at Lowry's or something like that.
Wow. And you mean standing, you mean it's like impaled and you shawarma it? Or what do you mean by that exactly?
So it's basically like the ribeye steak. It's just like one rib with the steak.
Yeah.
This is like 4 ribeyes that have not been cut and separated.
Oh, so you've killed a whole family of animals to have this little...
instead of just one little rib bone, I'm taking 4, and it's like the same thing as a ribeye, but it's a big old hunk of meat, and you have to cook it a little lower and slower, and it's a whole thing.
Lower and slower, like some of your famous Them Jeans barbecue finger licking. Is it now?
That's
is
right.
Is this like an all day thing, or is this multiple days? Okay.
No. Well, I'm going to pick it up tomorrow, and I'm going to cover it in salt and leave it in my refrigerator for 2 days. Just to get
That's going to smell great. Okay.
Just get a little bark development going. And then I might pre-cook it at home and then finish it at Oberg's house. We'll see.
Okay. And do you feel confident about this dish? And have you looked up some recipes, or are you kind of freewheeling?
Yeah, I feel very confident. I know exactly how to do it and what to do it. The only bummer is it's probably going to be like a $250 piece of meat.
So if you F it up, it's kind of a problem.
Well, it's already a problem that I have to spend that much money on meat.
So you're not happy about spending $250. Do you need me to Venmo you, or are you just complaining?
I don't need you to, but it would be dope if you did that.
Okay. So you're gonna send everyone a bill for like $12 to kind of recoup your meat costs. Is that? Don't start charging me for the Maldon. If you start going there, I'm gonna be.
I'm not gonna do any of that. It'll be like when you show up. You hand me $20, you get a ticket, and then when I start carving,
I like the idea of you at a carving station, like you're at the Four Seasons brunch. You know, like you got the full. Maybe I could purchase you some.
I'll do a little flair.
I feel like you're going to be fine. You don't sound super confident, but that's kind of your laid back nature. You don't want to oversell and underdeliver. You're a more undersell, overdeliver type of cat.
Oh yeah, you get me. Yeah, I don't give a shit. It'll be. I'm only complaining because like I spent so much money on food for Christmas, and I was like, that's done. But it was also like 4 days ago.
Well, Jason, that's your family. That's your literal family and loved ones. And if you don't get a chub from kind of providing for them, then maybe you're in the wrong business.
Providing for my family gets me horny as fuck.
That gets me. Yeah, I know.
I'm chubbed out. I wish I could control it, but I can't. Yeah, and also, you know it. Everyone knows it. Feeding people, that's my fucking love language.
No, I know. That's how you kind of express yourself. And
Uncle TT said, "Come get you a plate."
Come get you a plate. Yeah, I'm now. Are you wearing?
Where my hug at?
Are you wearing one of your tuxedos to cook in? Are you? What is the What is your New Year's?
I was thinking white tie. Just push it up one more notch.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that sounds precocious considering your meat chefing, but
Oh, it sounds positively precocious, Christopher.
but I assume you're going to be wearing some of your tattered rags and then making a quick change in one of the well-appointed bathrooms before coming out to serve in the whites. That's what I would
That's
suggest.
a really good idea.
I know.
I'm so glad that we spoke. I've got some type of denim poncho apron robe somewhere from some company that
Okay.
sent it to me.
Okay.
I'll wear that. It'll be covering it. It's gonna. The name of the apron is some white guy's name with an ampersand and then another white
Of
guy's
course.
name.
Well, yeah, of course. That's
is the name of
to
most
be,
kind of
that's understood.
salvage denim items.
Is the okay? So, do you think that you are going to be getting effed up this New Year's? Are you planning to take any?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get effed up. I already spoke with the dog sitter. She's charging me an extra fucking 20 for a quote unquote holiday surcharge.
Oh my God, these motherfuckers are bleeding you dry.
We're going from 120 to 140 just to hold the dogs. Another 253 for the ribs, and we haven't even got into my champagne budget.
You know what the thing is? These fucking pet freaks that get paid to babysit other people's animals, they love that shit.
Pet freaks?
They should be paying you. They like it so much.
Yeah, well, I fucking love turntablism, but I don't. I don't pay one out.
You know what, bro? Let me give you 100 to get in tonight. You know, like let me just.
Let me buy you a bottle, Grutman.
So you're telling me that you haven't factored in the 350 for the 2012 Dom, and then what about mushrooms, cocaine, Molly? Like what do we do? Moon rocks? Like what do we?
Thanks to my good friends at Space Tea, which is an Erewhon tea company that also puts like ashwagandha shit in it or whatever. They sent me some shit that's also loud, so I have 3 milligrams of tea that has mushrooms in it. So I'll probably drink one of those, just get 1 milligram
Okay.
or 1 gram in me, and then just see how I'm going. And then from there, I might take off and go to Mars with some Molly water.
Okay. And I said I would love
Which I guess would technically be hippie flipping.
that
if we're keeping
I love
score.
I love a hippie flip. As a contribution to this New Year's Eve, I would like to my promise to you as your friend, co-host, and small business owner is to kind of I'll stroll into Erewhon. I'm gonna just check the prices on the bottled water. I'm gonna find the most expensive one, which I believe tops out at about 30 USD.
Yeah.
I'm going to purchase that to help you prepare the most gourmet Molly water of your entire life. It's the black tie.
Oh.
It's the black tie of Molly water. Most of these people, they're partying, they put it in Dasani and Aquafina, whatever they have. God forbid, Los Angeles Tap. You know, they'll do whatever they can.
Yeah,
but for
been there.
for them jeans in a controlled environment, I think you need something better. With more robust flavor.
This is so dope. This is a great idea. I mean, just the minerality, like, because that water,
Exactly.
like the one water that has like angel wings on it that costs
Yeah.
$10 more because it's been like spiritually blessed by certain crystals or whatever. Imagine that interacting with the spirit molecules in my Molly that was made in a Venezuelan concentration camp by
Exactly.
pouring gasoline on someone's face.
Exactly.
Imagine
Yeah, this-
all those spirit molecules interacting in one strand of peace and harmony as I listen to a Robin song.
I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. Oh. That's 100%. Okay, so
Wow, did your voice just do reverb?
setting
I just heard it bouncing off the walls over there. I'm sorry. I have my my eyes were. Is Sam Smith? Is that you in the room with me right now?
bro, don't do that. Yeah, so I'm visualizing it now. You're done cooking. You do have one small stain on your lapel of your white tails, but we're working through it. I'm over in the corner watching you kiss her.
Not Bodhi.
No, I'm in the corner and I'm pouring up some of this $30 water into a beautiful Oberg owned Baccarat glass, and then I'll let you dab in as much Molly as possible. I'll pull out my How Long Gone custom Tinker Coffee tasting spoon and kind of feverishly mix like a mustachioed barista like
Sure.
the spoon into the water, make sure that the Molly is joining the water and becoming one.
You know, Chris, I hate to interrupt. I would prefer maybe more of like a mother of pearl style oyster spoon, just so
Okay,
it doesn't
okay,
really
okay,
interact with any
okay.
of the minerality.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I can run today and get one.
Again,
of those. That's not-
super hate to be that guy.
that's no problem. I can run and get one of those. So then I'll present that to you as kind of a midnight, as the clock strikes midnight, as Robin's blaring through the Oha speakers. You can have a sip of your custom Molly Water blend.
Proprietary.
And I think this could send you to the motherfucking moon. And I don't want to. Obviously, I'll leave soon after that, so I don't have to see the results. But I hope that you're able to kind of keep the party going and dance through the night. Because I will not be seeing the sunrise. But it sounds like you might.
I don't think I will be seeing the sunrise, but I will. I don't know. It's tough. Like, do I drive there and then just sober up enough until I can drive home at 5 a.m, or is it a Uber there and Uber back? Am I sleeping on the couch? What do you think my best move is going to be, Chris? I need help.
You're sleeping on the couch. I mean, that's kind of where you live these days. So I think that my only recommendation.
What's another night in the doghouse, right?
What I would say to you, on this night of partying and kind of taking it to celebration. I would say,
what a year.
The only thing I would recommend to you as a friend is shower before you go to bed. You know, it's
Ooh.
No matter how fucked up you are, take Big Bird under the nozzle and just give him a spray down, because you're going to feel, no matter how much you've indulged in the night before, if you wake up clean, smelling like your Aesop, it's going to feel better, and it's going to help the 2-hour drive to San Gabriel Valley to have eggs on New Year's Day. It's going to help that process quite a lot. And that's a recommendation from me to you.
You know, it's odd because we've talked about all of this stuff so many times over the years, and I don't think I've ever heard, or I don't think I recall you dropping that knowledge dart on me, and it really is a great tip. And I don't think I'll ever do it, but unless I vomit on myself or something where I really require a cleanup.
I mean, as a person who showers almost every night before bed, as well as a daytime shower, I think that showering is deeply
pervert.
I think showering is deeply underrated in how it makes you feel. You know, I think that's the thing. I think people think of it as utility.
No, ask any chick. They'll tell you it's more of an emotional thing than a clean thing. It's like
chicks don't like to shower because they don't get their hair wet. You know what I mean? So it's like a whole,
they find a way.
They do find a way. I mean, that's what the bathtub exists for. $5,000 later.
Oh,
I think that the power of the shower in the condition that you're in, would help you. And like I said, it'll help that, Yang's kitchen waffle go down much smoother.
Pancake. Bro, I ate that on the day after Christmas. Oh my God. It's so good.
There's no way. There's no way.
Gluten-free mochi pancake with some type of farmer's market bullshit jam and jelly spread on there. Oh, it's so good.
You're telling me that a gluten-free pancake is worth 45 minutes there and 45 minutes back? On God, you're saying that.
I'm not saying that on God. For me, it doesn't take 45 minutes. For me, it takes like 19 minutes or so. But yeah, there's so many restaurants that have good breakfast in LA, but it's the same thing. Like if I go to the Clark Street whatever, it's gonna take just as long.
Speaking of, before we wrap up here, I had an interesting experience.
No, we're doing 2 hours.
At a breakfast,
edible kicking
at
in.
a breakfast yesterday, actually, and I went to a place that we talk about. I'm not going to name it. We talk about it a lot. One of our friends goes there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go there back in the day, but I stopped. And
where all the Australians of WeHo go.
Exactly. And I was like, you know what? Let's go.
Not Great White.
Let's hit this because it's like pretty reliable for eggs and avocado. You know, you can't really go wrong. And we sit down, and there's a there's a couple next to us. You know, the guy's wearing sunglasses and you know, like he has his little Jordans on or whatever, and his chick is wearing her mini Dior saddlebag in orange while she eats.
Cute.
She's got her, like, you know, her Instagram influencer sweatsuit on, and I'm just annoyed by them instantly. Like, these people are fucking annoying, but this is West Hollywood. Mm-hmm. You know, then on the other side of us, a woman pulls up with a baby. You know, so we're basically sandwiched in hell. And We go to order. The waitress comes over to order, and this bitch with her little Dior bag on, the cheapest one she could get, the woman's like, "Hey, how are you guys? Do you know what you want?" And she goes, excuse me, did you forget about us?" while we were trying to order.
Ooh.
The woman, the waitress, a professional, finishes, takes our order, goes over there, is like, "Hey, sorry, we're just backed up in the kitchen. Your stuff will be out shortly." And then throughout the meal, these two are showing each other TikToks full volume on their iPhone.
Oh no!
While they share, while they eat an omelet and a sandwich. And
these ass clowns.
I'm just disgusted by these people. I just don't understand the lack of decor. Like, I understand asking where your food is if it's been too long, of course. But to interrupt a waitress with another table, I've never seen something like that. To be honest with you,
For shame.
I've never seen that kind of behavior before.
Did you remain silent or did you speak up?
I remained silent. I've actually, this is
I don't think I could have controlled myself from remaining silent. I would have to make a crack of some sort in that.
This
situation.
that used to be me, but I wouldn't make a crack. I would be like, "Fuck you," and then it would turn into like a yelling match. It's embarrassing for everyone. So I look at that.
Hey, fuck you, lady.
I take that as growth on my part, but I did want to make sure I told the story so that if they're listening, they know that they were in the wrong.
You never know. They could be listening. Like, remember, like a few weeks ago, I was talking about that couple who were using the Foursquare app at a house party.
Yes. I forgot. Did they listen?
Definitely just learned that they fully listened and even though I didn't mention their name. So hey guys, if you're listening right now, sorry.
But do you think it's the kind of thing where they listen because 5 people sent it to them, being like,
yes, that's why.
Okay. Well, that's fine. They're not going to return.
Allegedly they were good. She was a good sport about it, so I appreciate that.
If you're using Foursquare in public in 2022, you kind of have to be a good sport about it. I don't know if you have a leg to stand on as far as an argument goes.
And maybe them realize that, and that's growth on all parts.
That's growth.
We had to crack the egg to make the omelet.
I love growth.
The invoice is in the mail, sweetie.
All right, I'm gonna get back to trying to get Courtney Love on How Long Gone.
Okay. I'm going to get back to my search for Theophilus London.
Theophilus missing since July is that's a long time. Like, that's a really long time.
It's a long time. But, I mean, you know how it goes when people are working and traveling and, partying and all that shit. People will be like, hey, I'm in Zihuatanejo for like a month, just like low-key in the studio, or I went to go stay with Rob in Amsterdam, or whatever it could be.
He's got these crazy synths, bro. It's just like, I don't know. You kind of had to.
He's like a magician.
You had to come here, but yeah, hopefully they find him. All right, How Long Gone?
Yeah. Hopefully they find him.
We appreciate you guys listening to the podcast yet again. We will be back ASAP with another podcast on January 2nd. Thank God we return to some semblance of normalcy in the very near future. And this long week of boredom will finally come to a close.
Everyone, go check on all the Grusslers in your family.
Yeah.
I mean, my girlfriend's going through it right now as a fellow Grussler. She's definitely doing, like booking a hotel for 6 years from now somewhere. You know what I mean? Wait. Last question. Does that mean that we're going to be recording an episode on New Year's Day?
That's the idea. Yeah. So Sunday when you're super hungover.
I know you get off. You get off when I'm fragile, don't you?
Well, Alex was literally like, "Are you guys going to do it?" And I was like, you know what? No, because when Jason's hungover, that's some of his best performances.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of milk that.
I'll use that as my North Star for my nights partying, to know that, like, all right, at some point, I know when to stop, because I have to have enough gas in the tank to talk for 1 hour.
And we're not doing a late start time, just so you know. We're doing a regular start time.
That's not true.
Yep, regular start time. Sorry, bitch. Nice to hear from you, bitch. We're starting at the regular time. That makes it even more fun. You just have to think about this as a challenge. Are you an athlete or not, bro? Like, rise to the occasion.
Look, if I lived alone, this would be something that I would do for fun, but I think the boss.
Okay, well, look, we can meet up in a local park and pod from the car, for all I care. I don't give a shit.
Honestly, no.
This podcast is brought to you.
Yeah, we're recording live from the line at Dave's Hot Chicken.
Yeah. If you hear any beeping, Chris is kind of trying to maneuver and cut in line here at Dave's Hot Chicken. You know these
Yeah,
new
we
cars.
still support Nashville Hot Chicken on this podcast.
Yeah, fuck you, loser. All right, thank you, Jason.
But I do get mild. Okay, bye, Chris.
Going back to the start.